All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. About a little bit more than a quarter of the way through this NBA season. And you look at the Milwaukee Bucks as an example. They came into this season with several questions that needed to be answered. First and foremost, how would the transition from Mike Budenholzer to Adrian Griffin as the head coach be? How would Damian Lillard fit into things there? And we already knew that the Bucks had Giannis Antetokounmpo in place. And there isn't a person alive who knows basketball that will question whether or not that he's currently not one of the top players in the NBA. And before this season started, Giannis was already a two-time NBA MVP. We're talking about the Finals MVP when Milwaukee won their first championship in 50 years back in 2021. And these Bucks are once again expected to contend for an NBA championship as long as you got Giannis, of course, in his prime, and you bring in Lillard, and now you're hopeful that things, if you're a Bucks fan, that things transition properly and right from Budenholzer to Griffin. But Giannis, aside from looking to get that second NBA championship and possibly the first for Damian Lillard, he's also looking to try to get some more individual hardware as well. And I say this because Giannis is playing like a guy right now that wants to get his third NBA MVP award. You look at the impressive numbers that he's putting up so far this season: 32 points per game, nearly 11 rebounds, and 5 assists per contest. Already this season, a pair of 40-point outings on his resume. Last month, he got the Indiana Pacers for 54 points. And then he took it a step further last night when he gorged Indiana for 64. Now, I've been saying this for several years now, and I'm going to continue to stand by that. But in talking about Giannis, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Jokic, there's nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody in the NBA right now that could stop these guys from 15 feet in, especially when they're in a rhythm. And right now, Giannis is in a rhythm. I think from last year until now, and I think it's continuing even more, that he's not really focusing on the three-point shot as much, and that's a good thing. I say that because nobody can stop Giannis close to the basket. He's the Greek freak for a reason. Coming off that fast break, there's not a lot of people that want to jump with him with that athleticism. If you allow him to post up in the paint, forget about it. He's gonna do what he's been doing to teams so far this season. And for me, I look at it. Obviously, there's an adjustment period as far as getting adjusted to Adrian Griffin. And the thought process was going to be, how would Giannis fit into those things? Giannis is going to make it work because Giannis obviously wants to win. He was not happy that Budenholzer was let go, but nonetheless, you're talking about one of the best players in the NBA. And not to sound like a broken record, when Giannis posts up on that low block, or when Giannis is coming out there to crash the boards, or when Giannis is coming off that fast break, there's nobody in the NBA that's going to check him. That man is a bad dude, and there's a reason why he's compensated the way that he is, and there's a reason why he's taking home some of the hardware for his accomplishments already. And I think there's a possibility that he could do it once again this season. You look at it, having another proven finisher alongside him and Damian Lillard. And I'm very interested to see how these two players progress and grow together as the season goes along. And obviously, Giannis and Lillard are going to be judged by what they're able to do in the postseason. You've got a Milwaukee team right now. They're 17-7. They're tied with the Boston Celtics for the most wins in the NBA coming into play today. Of course, the Celtics, as we speak, are hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nonetheless, you look at the top four in the East right now. You've got Boston, you've got Milwaukee, you've got a surprising Orlando Magic team, and then you have Philadelphia. And no disrespect to Orlando, but I still say the East is going to be defined by Boston, Philadelphia, and of course Milwaukee. One of those three teams are going to be the team that comes out of the East, and I think they're clearly going to have to butt heads at some point in the postseason. But nonetheless, Giannis has gotten off to a tremendous start. This month alone, he's played 5 games, 40 points per game, 11 boards, more than 6 assists. And, going back to last night, yeah, he did make 24 of his 32 free throws, but nonetheless, he was 20 of 28 from the field. So it's one of those where, again, this man is a one-man wrecking crew. When you have guys like this and they're in the prime of their respective careers, you just sit back and enjoy what you're seeing. Now, will Giannis be able to keep this pace up? That's going to be very interesting. I do think he's very determined, and you look at it, he has a hunger. He has a different hunger this year. He has a different edge about him, and that aggressiveness, could result. Not saying it's going to, but it could result in Milwaukee winning another championship. Now, is Giannis the favorite to be the NBA MVP? I'm not going to say that because you look at the stats. You got Joel Embiid and Luka Doncic of Dallas, who are ahead of him in points. Rebounding wise, Nikola Jokic is leading the league. And Nikola Jokic is, of course, the walking triple double. Talking about a guy who's averaging more than 27 points per game, more than 12 and a half boards, and close to 9.5 assists. And then Joel Embiid, the reigning NBA MVP. And Embiid is having himself another solid start. He's averaging close to 34 points per game, 11 and a half rebounds, and close to 2 blocks. And in mentioning Giannis, in mentioning Jokic, and in mentioning Embiid, we're talking about the last 3 winners of the NBA MVP. Giannis got it twice, then it was Jokic, and now it's Embiid. And this is all it's all about. We're going back to the big man in the NBA, and we're seeing that position be so vital, whether it's the power forward or the center. And of course, all three of those guys bring something different to their teams, but they're all vital and they're all catalysts for what they do. But as I focus on Giannis, like I said before, give this man the basketball and simply get out of his way. I think as long as Giannis stays healthy, we're in store for another big season from him, another big season from the Bucks, and hopefully for their sake, it won't be an early first round exit or an early exit period from the NBA playoffs. I do think Giannis is on a mission, and that mission obviously is to get another NBA championship. But in the process, I think he has put himself once again in that MVP discussion. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.